In last week's episode I said I was hoping to give my boat away to a new owner. Well, I did, and in this week's episode we say goodbye to Frantic, the boat that started this dream in the first place.
You may be wondering why I gave the boat away and didn't try and sell it. I mean, a boat like this, it's very, very, very difficult to sell, so I could have just watched it deteriorate as I tried to sell it, and just got more and more disheartened that nobody wanted to buy it, and it would have ended up being left in the yard and forgotten about. It had already been kind of moved and half dumped anyway, and the motivation to move it home and stuff, it wasn't going to happen. So I decided it would be much, much better to give it to somebody who's actually going to enjoy it, who might not necessarily have the money to buy into something now. It might be the start of somebody's sailing career, it might be the start of... It might just end up being nothing happening with it. But I'd much rather let somebody else take it on and take it from where I brought it to and finish it off. Because it's actually a great little boat and I will miss working on it. But now that I've got Zora and time is really, really... It's really hard to come by anyway. I mean, I'm 40 hours a week at work. I spend about 20-25 hours a week on the boat. I spend about 10 to 12 hours video editing and then the rest of the time I'm asleep. So it just wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to finish it. So I'd rather have gone to somebody who's going to finish it, enjoy it and go sailing. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding as to why I gave the boat away and as opposed to trying to sell it. Somebody else is going to enjoy the boat, and I'm a firm believer of what goes around comes around. So you know, that's not the reason I would give something away, but like these things have a habit of coming back, and I just feel good about giving it away, so I just give it away. Now, if you've seen all of my videos, you'll remember that there was a guy who was watching the videos from the start, and he sent me an email offering help, and he came down one day, and that guy was Simon. So I mentioned the boat was going for free, and Simon asked could he have it for his nephew. So I said, yeah, is he interested in doing a bit of work and does he want to go sailing? And his name's Matt. Matt actually then texted me and he was so enthusiastic that I couldn't say no to him. And that's what I wanted. I wanted somebody who's going to be really enthusiastic about the project and who take it on, go sailing and enjoy it. And that's exactly what I wanted for the boat. So there she is in a new home. We had to deliver the boat from about half an hour it took from where she was to where it is now. We had a bit of a mishap on the way when we ran out of diesel in one of the tunnels, but yeah, so she's in a new home now and gonna go sailing in the summer. Yeah, it's gonna be sailing in the summer, finally, after I've had it for 2 years. And yeah, best of luck with it, Matt. Enjoy it. So one of my next jobs is going to be to create like a sliding hatch for the companionway and to put the washboards in as well. So I've been kind of brainstorming with a friend of mine, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the existing angle line, so the stainless steel angle line welded onto the cabin top. So when it was welded, it bowed a small bit, so the deck kind of, or the cabin top kind of fell in a bit, so there's a bit of a fall in it in the middle. So my plan is to put a piece of Delra and a flat bar on top of here with countersunk machine screws in there. So a nice bit of flat Delrin on top with the bottom of the Delrin kind of shaped
to the bow in it, so it'll create a flat top, and it'll also create like a frictionless slider. Then we'll make a fiberglass hatch, or a sliding hatch, that will go on here and kind of flow over and back and in and underneath the angle line. Then that'll slide into what's called a hatch garage, which is basically bolted to the deck all the way along the front and sealed so that the water can't get in under the front of the hatch. So that's the plan with that. It shouldn't be too bad. I haven't made anything out of fiberglass before, but yeah, that's the plan. Sliding hatch here, nice big companionway, and my washboards will be going in the front here. I'm going to use Iroko timber to create my washboards, and I have a design for that in my head as well. Basically we'll have a piece of timber on the front here, and then a piece of beading recessed in as well, and that'll create that'll let me put my washboards in. So that's the plan. Probably do that over the next maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Once the windows are all sealed up, that's my next job basically. So now that we've got all of the cab windows sealed, I'm moving on to the hull windows, and they're a different kind of design. So they sit into a frame, and then the outside frame is bolted on top of that. So these will be sealed against a much smaller area, but so it's even more important to prep these properly. So basically, once these are sealed in, then this frame will sit over the top and hold these windows in. Pretty much the same as the cab, but it's just the way they're sealed is slightly different. So yeah, just more sealant. This episode probably isn't the most interesting one because it's all just sealing windows again, but look, we'll get on with this. So I've hit a fairly annoying roadblock. These are the existing, so they were the original port lights, and they have 5 M5 threaded holes all the way around, but all of the threads are actually pulled out. I thought they were just full of paint, but they're actually just pulled out. I tried to rethread them. So I have a couple of options. Unfortunately, this material here is quite thin, so there's not a huge amount of scope to drill anything out. I might get up as far as an M6. So what I might do is drill the holes all the way through and tap it to an M6, and if that doesn't work, I might try and put an M5 nut on the back. There's very little room at the back as well, so I don't think that'll work. So I need to come up with a solution. So there won't be any port light sealing today. Just got to figure it out. I'll figure something out. It'll come to me. But for now, I've got to walk away from it and kind of leave it at that. So I have to finish up for the weekend now. It's actually only Saturday, but I have to go to a wedding. So this weekend wasn't really a very productive weekend. Positives are though that I now have a very good idea of how I'm going to design the sliding hatch and companionway. And I have a challenge now where I need to figure out how I'm going to put those hull port lights in. I need to figure out whether I'm going to drill them out, am I going to re-tap them. So I've got a head scratching to do. I've taken all the measurements and I'll be able to think about that during the week. I think it'll come to me. It's just one of those things that got to figure it out. I'll figure it out. I will. Once those hull port lights are all sealed up and I have the companionway and the forehatch fitted, the boat will basically be watertight and I'll be able to sleep in it on the weekend, which would be really nice because I'll be able to wake up and just start working rather than leaving my dad. I stay with my dad during the weekend, so rather than getting up in the morning, having breakfast, coming down here, it takes about an hour and a half between getting up and getting down here, so it knocks quite a bit out of the day. So I'm going to plan to just get the boat watertight and then start sleeping in a hammock down here. That's the plan. I found another channel I like, by the way, as well. I think everyone will like this because it's not a sailing channel, but it's a bit more along the lines of kind of alternative living and thinking outside the box as opposed to just buying a house and kind of slaving away at a mortgage. These guys, this couple over in Brazil, Odd Life Crafting is their channel. I'll pop a link up here. They basically are building a shipping container home on the top of a hill overlooking the city, and it's absolutely stunning. I linked their Instagram channel as well because they have some fantastic pictures on that. But I really love finding these kind of channels with people who are doing things a little bit more unusually or thinking things a bit differently. So keep up the videos. They're really, really good. Great fun to watch and a great way of living. As always, thanks for watching. Tune in again next weekend and we'll hopefully get a bit more done. Same time next weekend anyway, 7 p.m. Thanks.